Whenever two sons of God meet, they are given another chance at salvation. Do not leave anyone without giving salvation to him and receiving it yourself. That gem is from the book A Course in Miracles. I'm going to read even a little bit more. Whenever you are with a brother, you are learning what you are, because you are teaching what you are. He will respond either with pain or with joy, depending on which teacher you are following. He will be imprisoned or released according to your decision, and so will you. Give him his place in the kingdom, and you will have yours. One of the things, this is quite deep, but one of the things that it reminds me of is that inner peace and world peace must take place upon a value and a belief and a living of 100% responsibility. Now, I have a series on my channel where I describe my 11 foundational beliefs. The series is called What I Believe. And my second most important belief that I hold is 100% responsibility. Not, 20% or 75% or 89%, but 100% responsibility. Now, responsibility doesn't mean you can control everything or that everything's your fault, but it does mean to take responsibility for your place in the world and how you respond. Responsibility. And when you are meeting with other bodies, other beings, other people, that is an opportunity for salvation or peace. And salvation is related to the word peace. It's related to the word healing. It's related to rescue and deliverance and being safe. And so that is what salvation means. It has the secondary meanings that we assign to it, I don't think are warranted. It's a much simpler word. And it's something that can be experienced immediately in the moment if we're willing and if we know how. And if you don't know how, this is why I'm doing all these videos, to give us ideas of how. And also you have to find your skills and your way of living. And it says what teacher you are following. Are you following a teacher of pain or a teacher of joy? Are you following a teacher of salvation or a teacher of captivity? Are you following a teacher of peace, or are you following a teacher of enmity? And who you are in the moment, even if you don't even ever open your mouth, who you are in that moment is what you are teaching, is what message you are bringing, is what gospel you are preaching. And it's not about telling someone where to find the right verse in a book. It's about who you are and how you treat another human being that is in your path. Now, a lot of times we are frightened and we are weak and we have to protect ourselves. And the first person that you have to love and care for is yourself. You have to nourish yourself. That has to be first. And if you have never done that, you will not be prepared to nourish another person. So do start there. But if you're able to think a little bit beyond yourself, and it doesn't mean that you know what's best for the other person or you know what they should do, because you don't. Okay, you don't know the kinds of decisions they should be making unless there's somebody you've known for a long time and can give some real advice out of love. But just meeting someone, just seeing someone on TV, writing a comments on something or a letter to someone or having a private opinion about someone, you have no understanding. You don't know anything about them, and you cannot give a good message without an understanding of that human being. If you lump all people into groups and you've never met one, you've never talked to them, never seen where they're coming from, you don't have understanding, and so you can't have knowledge to share with them because you don't. First you have to understand them before you know what kind of knowledge might be helpful to them. It might be something you have, it might not be anything. You'd be like, wow, that's beyond my experience of life as well. Always start with understanding, which is the title of this whole series. But anyway, I think I've talked long enough, but I think you get the idea. So it's not about what you're going to tell them what they need to do. It's just you're going to be who you are, a person of peace, and they're going to experience that. And for most people, some people are so deep in their illusions and enmity that they might still, feel threatened. But for most people, if you are teaching the message of peace and joy by your very being, the message of release and deliverance and salvation by your very being, most people will respond. They'll be able to tell the difference. And even if they start with some kind of, excuse me, some kind of an aggression or something, if you have a soft answer so that they know that there's no threat, there's no harm. It doesn't mean let people hurt you, but if you're strong enough, sometimes when people try to hurt you, it doesn't feel like pain. It doesn't feel like hurt because you have so much understanding. It's like if a little baby were to hit you, you would be like, oh, you'd try to help the baby not do that, but you wouldn't like hate the baby or be frightened of the baby, or you wouldn't really feel hurt by it. And that's like when people come to me with their aggressions, I see them all as babies. Most people can't hurt me even if they're trying to, because I can't experience it as pain because I have too much sight into probably where they're coming from and how much fear that they're in and how threatened they feel and how maybe they're full of guilt. I see all of that. And so it's like I cannot be angry at them or feel hurt by them or be scared of them. I can't even be scared of them. But if they and my original thought that I was trying to say, if they come at you with a little bit of aggression, if you feel strong enough, return that with good. Return it with a soft answer. And then usually they soften as well. Not always, but quite often. So always take your chance at salvation when you're in the path with someone. It might be your spouse. It doesn't have to be a stranger on the road. It could be rethink your spouse in terms of the salvation you're offering the people that are closest to you. Okay? And that's inner peace and world peace. We'll see ya.
I talk a lot on YouTube.